way to begin writing, and the pre-writing techniques, brainstorming, clustering, free writing, are three of the best ways to produce ideas. So I just want to start with a scenario. If you came to Hawaii, you might want to be a tour guide. The expectations for the tour guide, what would they be? If you had to write a short essay about the expectations of a tour guide, you might want to cluster first. So we're going to do some clustering here. Here with my whiteboard in the bright sun of Hawaii. The high will be 80 degrees today. So if you're in that cold snowstorm on the East Coast, I hope this will make you feel warm, bring the warmth of Hawaii to you. First of all, the central idea we're talking about is the expectations of a tour guide. What are the job skills that a tour guide needs? So in the center we're going to put expectations for tour guide. And this is a tour guide specifically in Honolulu, Hawaii, which is where I'm at now. So some of the expectations, I want you to think of what comes to your mind when you think of expectations for a tour guide in Honolulu, Hawaii. What is the first thing that you think about? You might think of communication skills. So we're going to put communication skills. Ran out of my thought bubble here. Okay, communication skills. The communication skills in Hawaii would be very translingual, like what we're talking about with different types of English. You might have more of a Hawaiian English, or you might have Texas English. I'm from Texas. There's a really good tour guide here in Hawaii named Elliot from Texas. So his being from Texas did not impede or hurt in any way his ability to be a good tour guide in Honolulu. I like that about the translingual approach. Basic English, clear English is pretty much a universal thing. You get many people from Asian companies and Asian countries coming here, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and so you just have to be open to different cultures. It's a very multicultural place, as you probably realize. What else would you think of when you're thinking of expectations for a tour guide? What are some of the other thoughts that you might think of? For instance, knowledge of history, and with this, some stories, anecdotes. This would make your presentation as a tour guide more colorful if you had an extensive knowledge of the history of the tour sites where you're going, as well as some colorful stories to share with the tourists in your group. That would keep them very excited, interested, and your enthusiasm would rub off on them. Hopefully they would have a wonderful time here going on a tour with you. Then what else would you think of? Well, of course, you have to be friendly. You have to have people skills. People skills in Hawaii specifically, the concept is the aloha spirit, which is very similar to the fruits of the spirit for a Christian. So we're going to put aloha have the fruits of the Spirit, you're definitely going to be able to show the aloha spirit, which is in Hawaii means a friendly acceptance of everyone who comes to Hawaii, a welcoming spirit. So people skills could also mean, you know, tolerance, acceptance, and when we think of communication skills, we think of clear pronunciation and maybe some knowledge of other languages, such as how to say hello in Korean, annyeong, or Japanese, ohayo gozaimasu, or Chinese, ni hao, daja. So some other knowledge of perhaps Asian, a cursory knowledge of Asian languages would help. Maybe even a little bit of knowledge of, you know, basic Hawaiian, such as mahalo for thank you, aloha, hello, and goodbye. So this might help, but would be an optional thing. You could do with just straight English, but this would be an optional thing that you might want to have as a tour guide. Some other things that you might think of for a tour guide. Let's see. Maybe plant life. And here, the tourist site. So basically, we're going to put this in with knowledge, local knowledge, and knowledge of the history of Hawaii. This will come in handy when you're going to different tour sites. The appropriate mood for the appropriate site. If you go to Pearl Harbor or to the Arizona Memorial, the USS Missouri, when you're at those sites, you have to be sensitive. You have to be friendly and knowledgeable, but also realize, you know, many men give their lives, many men and women gave their lives, Pearl Harbor and other places here. If you go to the National Cemetery, of course, you're going to have maybe a little bit